This is the kind of just not caring about the common good and not taking responsibility as a public official that Obama had to do in order to get where he got.
You mentioned the Chicagoland style thuggery politics that Obama has obviously brought to the White House with him. Can you go into more detail about that, and why do you think that, which has been pervasive for decades with politicians, why do you think that stuck with him as well?
Well, I don't think you can crawl out of a swamp without having a lot of, you know, water and mud and gook and plants stuck to you. And that's what Chicago's political scene is really like. It is a swamp, and people often refer to it that way. Obama attached himself at the hip when he, well, just to step back a minute, when Obama won his first election, and this is where the case against Barack Obama begins, Obama won his first election by throwing all of his opponents off the ballot. He challenged all their petition signatures and got them thrown off the ballot, which is kind of hilarious. What's also hilarious is that his memoir on political life, The Audacity of Hope, he begins it by talking about how he gave this great speech and people liked him and elected him their state senator, which is not true at all, okay? He got all his opponents thrown off the ballot. That's the Chicago way. He gets to the state senate, attaches himself at the hip to one of the most notorious, you know, just crooked politicians there is. That's Emil Jones, who is his political godfather. Who put him on all the right committees so that he could show his absolute unquestioning loyalty to the SEIU, which would later help him to become a senator. You know, Obama's career in Chicago has been one of don't ask any questions, okay? When Mayor Daley, his administration was rocked by several scandals in the past decade, including one in which this huge program to hire private trucks was being lent out to people who paid bribes to people in the mayor's office and in the Chicago workforce, and made massive campaign donations to Daley and his political organizations in town. That was just one of them. There were several others as well. At that point, as you know, City Hall is being rocked by this, Obama is asked about Daley. And he gives this very milquetoast answer of, well, I've had some concerns. And that was too much already. He called the reporter back 90 minutes later and said, you know, I didn't really mean to be so hard on the mayor. Let me just explain what I really mean. Chicago looks wonderful under him, and blah, blah, blah. This is the kind of just not caring about the common good and not taking responsibility as a public official that Obama had to do in order to get where he got. He's won the presidency now, and I think you're seeing a lot of the same thing. Even so, Obama's time in Chicago gets a little shadier than that. Obviously, his connection to Tony Rezko meant enough that he had to admit it was a bonehead move at the time. But since the 2008 election, we've also learned that Rezko, according to the evidentiary documents in the Blagojevich trial, the former Governor Rod Blagojevich, Rezko was slipping envelopes full of cash to Blagojevich's chief of staff. He hired Blagojevich's wife to a no-work, no-show job, and thus allegedly funneled over $100,000 into the governor's bank account. That we know of, allegedly. So that all on its own should make us ask more questions about Obama's relationship with Rezko. Why this land deal that basically helped Obama own his dream home? Why did he step in and buy this plot of land and then sell off enough of it that it would make it a lot harder for him to ever use it or build on it to Obama? How did this happen? And, you know, if all this stuff is going on around the same time, if Rezko is such close friends with Blagojevich and Obama, and this is what he's doing with Blagojevich, you have to wonder to yourself, what did Obama think Rezko was going to want out of this? What was the, you know, did he ever consider his motivations? Obama's an intelligent guy. I don't think that he just was completely naive and blind to the idea that he was dealing with a crook. So, and you know, just another example. As a state senator, Obama earmarked money or wrote letters and helped get a lot of money. He helped get money for Rezko, for one thing, but he also helped get over $300,000 in ping pong grants for this. It was a sporting event grant for one of his private law clients who was paying him an $8,000 a month retainer. That should set off alarm bells, but in Illinois, this kind of conflict of interest is, you know, I guess it's just the sort of thing that's par for the course, isn't it?